I was gonna...
Looking like an alcoholic over here.
Why are you starting already? All right, guys, welcome back to the talk show of... I call it the talk show.
The talk show?
The talk show / pregame / commentary / unapologetic french fries. I changed my name again. I keep changing my name. But you guys will find out why I changed my name. Because the last one, long story when I started my channel. But yeah, it's just going to be just all about who I am, me, and my thoughts of helping all of you. Just things that I learned in my life that help me get better, help me progress, help me have a more fulfilling, happier life, be a better person, be a better friend, a better girlfriend, a better wife, a better sister, a better daughter, a better just everything. So that I'm going to be sharing it with you guys, everything that I learned. And that's what I'm going to be doing, a little bit of everything, including commentary videos. So today we're going to be commenting on Think Before You Sleep, which is one of my favorite, top favorite YouTube channels so far. I love the guy. He's just so funny. He's just so straight up, so real. He's just like, I don't know, like even the voice he makes is like, I feel like maybe some people could maybe not be fan of, but I love it because it's just like he makes it in such a way that I can really see pissing people off. So, great channel. You should definitely go ahead and check it out. Show my boy some love. And we're going to be commenting on I'm fat, but I'm sexy. I want to comment directly on his video because I just want to add to the things that he says. Pretty much I agree with everything he says, but I want to use this as an example to you guys to just as an addition to the series that we're going to be working on and the videos that I already have uploaded. Anything you want to say about this channel?
Yeah, he does really good. I can tell he does a lot of good research on the topics that he does, and he gives like good points, and he's pretty funny on, like the comebacks that he does.
The comebacks, yeah, definitely. Let's get started.
I'm fat, but I eat healthy.
I'm fat, but I'm not a glutton.
I'm fat, but I actually like going to the gym.
But I like to take the stairs.
But I'm a runner.
But I'm not lazy.
But I don't eat McDonald's every day.
And I eat less than my skinny guy friends. Metabolism is a bitch.
Allow me to give you a lesson in manipulating statistics. I eat less than my skinny guy friends. Metabolism is a bitch. Someone might think, hey, that's so unfair. She eats less than skinny people, but she's still overweight. That's not what she said. She said that she eats less than her skinny guy friends. 1, men have a higher metabolism than women. Welcome to science. 2, she could be 5'1", and her skinny guy friends could be 6'3". So of course they can eat more than you. This is not about her having a slow metabolism, but that's how you manipulate people. Do I believe that she actually eats less than her skinny guy friends? No. At her size, unless she is really short, she definitely eats more than the average skinny guy. Obesity is an addiction, and addicts lie all the time. Sure, she might go out to eat with her friends and order a salad, but on the drive home, when no one is watching, she is ordering 5 cheeseburgers from McDonald's. News corporations like BuzzFeed, who promote fat acceptance, always want you to believe that being overweight is just bad luck or bad genetics. Look, all these people eat is half a sandwich with an avocado and a tomato. They eat less than you do. No, they don't. Allow me to show you a picture from a Dr. Phil video where he goes over just how much a morbidly obese person eats.
So it's just crazy, like he literally has to point out the obvious, like on these kinds of things. But for some people, it's like not so obvious, first off. But second off, what I want to say is like, okay, there is fat people that, I mean, unless they're sneaky, there's a lot of sneaky eaters too, but I know some people, it's like, I used to be like, I mentioned in my other videos, like, there was a time where I didn't even eat that much. Like, I remember like eating less than how I ate when I was younger and skinnier. So there could be meals. Also, yeah, your metabolism slows down. Yeah, metabolism is definitely a factor. Yeah. But it's only a factor because you made it that way. You make your metabolism slow when you don't work out. The less muscle you have, the slower metabolism you have.
And also,
first off.
I think like
And the food you eat, that's what makes your metabolism.
yeah. Also though, but like if you're already like fat, and I think if you're trying to say lose weight, if you like stop eating, that's not gonna help either though. Because you need to eat more for your metabolism to get going, to get fired up.
Yeah, if you go like long periods of time without eating, like that doesn't necessarily...
That doesn't work because your body is just going to hold on to the fat.
Yeah, it's really tricky the way the body... You just have to really, really learn. And when I say really, really learn, I'm talking about like going like months of watching like different YouTube videos and reading different articles, or maybe like just different blogs, and just watching a lot of people that, you know, do nutrition, so you can really get a full grasp of how your body works and operates. But at the same time, you don't even have to learn all that if you don't want to, because it's very simple. It's pretty much eating healthier, more balanced, and learning about your macros. I always mention that, but let's not get sidetracked. So what I was going to say about this is that it is possible to eat like smaller portions, for example, eat smaller things, or eat maybe like 2 times a day. And like those 2 times a day that you eat are like highly caloric. And it's the thing, when you're like an overweight person, just a little overweight, like let's just say like you're, I don't know, 50 pounds overweight. Like you've been overweight for maybe since you're a teenager or since you're little. And throughout years, just gain 5 more pounds every year, and you're in your 20s and you're like 50 pounds overweight. At that point, you might still kind of like eat the same as you always ate, but somehow just not manage to either lose the weight, or somehow every year you continue to gain just a little bit of weight every year. And that's 100% what happens to most people. That's a very common thing. Mm-hmm. But there's several reasons for that. And one of them is that like food only gets worse by the year. Like there's more hormones being added. There's, you know, the big food industries. You know, that's why you gotta shop from small farms, and you gotta shop from like reliable sources. But that's it. Big processed food, it just keeps adding more preservatives. The food just keeps getting worse and worse by the year. And another one is that what was I say? Like when you eat like you can eat like 2 burgers a day, for example, and those 2 burgers are 1,000 something calories each, you know, plus your soda or whatever. And dude, you know, all you have to do is just eat 10 calories above the calories you burn every day, and you will gain weight every week.
Yeah. An In-N-Out burger alone is already hitting up to like 500 calories. Just a burger. Yeah. This is like one meal. I mean, there's people that eat that just, you know, as a freaking snack on the weekend at night, after eating like throughout the whole day. And then those extra 500 calories are getting added to your diet.
And we're gonna talk, make another video about how we started gaining a lot of weight, and we were not even eating like that. Like we were not even eating like a lot. Like we would eat out here and there, but we were not like nothing excessively. Like most people in America literally eat out like almost every day. Like at least one meal is something frozen or something they bought at a convenience store or at a drive-through or whatever. It's just always kind of like, especially with Uber Eats, like people are just on that boat, and it's just crazy. Like it's like there's no shit you're gaining weight. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but he's just like, oh, I eat less than my skinny friends. Like, okay, yes. First of all, men by default have more muscle than women. By default, men burn more calories than women. It's always been like men always have to eat more than women. They burn more. They need more calories. They need more energy. And second of all, you could even eat less than your skinny girlfriends and still gain more weight. Then why? Because being skinny doesn't mean that you eat less. You can be skinny, have a lot of muscle density. Like you can be very, very you look skinny, but your muscles are tight, but you're still muscular. Like what I mentioned about the video, the reason why I used to be very fit when I was little and I would eat a lot, and so we have a fast metabolism, is because I was born with a lot of muscle dense. Like my parents used to work out a lot, so
that got passed on to you. Yeah, so
I feel like the parents, like I told you the other day, right? Like the parents, if you're like at the stage you are right now, if you have a lot of muscle, I feel like you right there, and you get pregnant, you pass it on to your kids. But like 5 years later, you just gain a lot of weight and you get pregnant again, your chance of having like a kid with less muscle density are You know, I feel like the kids are just born the way you are, and that they get the genes that you have in that moment. Like right?
Well, that's a whole different
because
scientific study that I don't know if it's been.
But I've been noticing.
I've
been noticing why people like, how come like this person used to be skinny, but now they're fat, and the kid was born kind of like, you know, like my youngest sibling. My youngest sibling didn't have as much muscle definition because she's 19 years younger than me. So she wasn't born with as much muscle definition as me and my other siblings did when my parents had more muscle definition. So I feel like that has a lot to do with, that's one, I feel like that's highly likely. I don't think it's like the rule, but definitely it shows. So I was born with a lot of muscle definition. You know, people always tell me like, wow, she has like a grown-up body because of how defined I was. In that muscle definition, it shows that I have more energy to burn. I was able to eat more food and not gain weight because of the excess muscle that I had. But eventually it gave up. So it doesn't last, like having a high metabolism does not last forever. You change your diet, you eat in a healthy way, you will mess up your metabolism. So metabolism is highly, like, it's not a defined thing. Like it could be messed up. It could, depending on how your body is and how you take care of your body, pretty much is how you make your metabolism. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I see people who are very, very, very fit, very thin, gain a lot of weight because of their poor diet. So yeah, pretty much what we're talking about, eating less does not equal like, oh, I barely eat anything. Like
I think the other thing about what these people are saying is like, oh, I'm fat, but I go to the gym, but I don't eat that much or whatever. It's like they're trying to justify their fatness, I guess.
That's not like it's not my fault.
It's not their fault.
Yeah.
And I guess, well, I don't know, they're doing something.
Yeah, it's like, don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's not my fault. And
so
honestly, I really feel like people should stop judging fat people. Like, I have never ever, like, I'm really hard on my own family, people that I know, because I want the best for them. So I try to teach them in the best way that I can about, you know, bad health practices and bad nutrition practices. But when it comes to my fat friends or anybody else that I know that is overweight, like, I don't tell them shit, dude. Like, I leave them the fuck alone. That is their life. And if they ask me for advice, I give it to them. But it's not my position. And this is even when I didn't use a filter at all. It's not my position to be telling you like, oh my God, like, that is so, like, bad for you. Why you eat like that? Like, oh my God, you should go to the gym more. You know, like, I don't go around lecturing people, because I used to lecture about other things, but I learned that, first of all, nobody wants to be lectured unless they ask you. Second of all, when it comes to you being overweight or your health and, you know, things like that, it's very delicate, because for some people are just not in the right mental state to know how to do it, to learn how to do it. You know their background. You don't know, a lot of people do have, most overweight people have, like, a really big addiction with food. And it's really, really hard. So judging them does not, remind, they get remind. I struggle. I've been several periods of times in my life where I really struggle to lose. I'm struggling right now to lose that excess 10 pounds. And it's so hard. It's so hard sometimes, because when you go a lifetime like being oblivious to what you eat, and then finally you want to change things, and you think just because you change it's just gonna automatically happen. Like, it's not that easy. It takes, just how you unconsciously did it for a long time, you didn't even realize that you were doing it. It takes just as long to reverse the damage. So yeah, so definitely I don't agree to go ahead and judge anyone for their weight. Because then they feel like they have to defend themselves. But other than that, if you're a person that's overweight, like, don't take it personal. If somebody tells you, like, yeah, maybe they're just have no filter, but think about learn how to take hard criticism, because just because they're not saying it doesn't mean they're not thinking about it. So do use that as a fuel to be like, what can I learn out of this? And not try to defend yourself. Because people are not going to care for your reasons. Like I said, there's always 1,000 reasons why not to do something. There's only one good reason why to do it. Okay, so next part.
You always say
My favorite motto now since I heard The Office.
Have a sandwich with an avocado and a tomato. They eat less than you do. No, they don't.
No, they
Allow
don't.
me to show you a picture from a Dr. Phil video where he goes over just how much a morbidly obese person eats,
But what
who
morbidly
is
obese
not that
people
much
eat
bigger
are
than these
ridiculous,
people
yeah.
who claim they only eat half a sandwich and are still overweight. We have
Just delusional,
4 to
man.
5 donuts, a 7-egg omelet with a cup and a half of cheese, a full bell pepper, a full
Cup and a
onion,
half of
and a
cheese,
full
bro.
package of ham inside of it.
Wow.
4 potatoes worth of hash browns with a second full pepper and onion. 4 corn dogs dipped in nacho cheese. A full-size bag of potato chips. A few strawberries. 3 sandwiches with ham, cheese, mayo, tomato, cucumber, avocado, croutons, bacon bits, and ranch. A large pepperoni pizza. 2 bowls of ice cream with caramel and whipped cream. A hand-sized bag of M&Ms. 2 bacon cheeseburgers. 1 box of mac and cheese and 3 bananas.
My
6 avocados.
God.
1 full-size bag of tortilla chips. 10 fish tacos with rice and beans. A full box of honey buns.
6
A full
avocados,
box of
dude.
Hot Pocket loaded potatoes. A bag of pepperoni. 1 gallon of sweet tea. And 6 candy bars. My God, this woman eats more calories for breakfast than I eat in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
Not to
dude.
say that every obese person eats that much.
It's more than
but
what I eat in a
certainly
fucking
they
week.
aren't eating salad all day and doing 3-hour workouts.
I'm fat, but I'm not glorifying obesity.
You are an obese person who is literally saying a
Yeah.
bunch of positive things about obesity to upbeat music.
That's not
and
glorifying
in a
it.
light-colored background with
I
a
love-
halo pattern in the center.
I love how
are
people
you
just get
not
stuck on words,
glorifying
dude.
obesity?
I'm fat and I look really good naked. There's been no
Like-
complaints, let me tell you.
Remember,
complaints
she is not
from
glorifying
whom?
obesity. Let me change the words around a little bit. I'm a heroin addict, but I'm not glorifying heroin. I'm a heroin addict, but I'm
I love
sexy.
this guy.
I'm a heroin addict, but I'm motivated. If I can switch to a different addiction
love it.
and suddenly there's a problem with everything they're saying, then food
Yeah.
addiction is not okay.
It's not okay.
I'm fat, but I'm not a skinny shamer. I just feel like everyone is allowed to love their bodies. Don't think that me being proud of my body means that I'm putting down yours.
What exactly do you have to be proud of? Obesity is a disease. Being overweight is not an accomplishment. Also, BuzzFeed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like that black girl just actually like has a very nice bone structure. Like if I was that overweight, like my face would be gone. Like my face would be this big and one with my neck. Like that's
no neck.
I would be like this. I'll be a blob. Like this, you know, like and this is who said that? That pretty much like when you gain so much fatness, like it literally it makes your face feature disappear. Like your face,
Distorted.
your bone structure is what makes your face features, like what makes you unique. Everybody has a different bone structure. And that's why when people get really fat, most fat people look very similar, look alike, you know, which is sad. Like we end up like all just being the same looking, you know. So and imagine this girl was fit, dude. She be so gorgeous. She be so fucking gorgeous. Like I can just see like how even her nose, it's like it's crazy. When you gain weight, like even your nose
I think
gets fat,
everybody has the
dude.
potential to look very good.
Very good.
Very
Everybody.
good, just being the weight that they're supposed to be.
It's just crazy how like nowadays
And then obviously hygiene and everything.
being attractive, being good looking is the very minority. Like maybe like less than 10% of the population is attractive. And I feel like it could be way higher because a lot of those unattractive people, and when I say attractive, I really mean like attracted to other people, that people, you know, good looking, that people see you on the street and you turn necks. That's what I mean. It's be like, oh my God, but I'm so beautiful of myself. Like, no, bitch. Like, you can love yourself all you want, but you tell yourself you love yourself. You don't, because if you did love yourself, you would actually freaking feed yourself right, freaking give yourself what, you know, make yourself go to the gym, do things that are good for you. Not just because you toss the love word around, say, call it love. It's like, no, that's being like, what, narcissism or something like that. That's not love. But
Yeah.
being attractive is literally people like to look at you because you're just like, you're just like, damn, nice physique, nice looking face, like your presence. It's just that is being attractive. And I feel like more people would be that if I've seen so many people that are like, if you can be fat and still get attention, still be considered as like saying, oh, I'm just saying like, oh, it's just pretty for a fat person, or he's good looking for a fat guy. Like, I feel like, goddamn, like, dude, if you were skinny, like, bro, Mm-hmm. So, and it's sad, but it's just like, I know a lot of heavy girls can pull guys. It's absolutely, some guys really don't mind it. It really goes down to personality when it comes to attracting a mate. It really goes down to personality. But your chances and the quality of people you'll be able to get are much, much higher if you actually care for your physique, let alone all the health issues that come along with being overweight. Like, very separate from the fact that it's just like, it's good for your health to be able to bear children. All
this is like much more beneficial, because if you are eating properly, like your macros and everything, your calories are where they're supposed to be, you are not spending that much money on food. You're actually gonna save money. You're gonna have more time to do other stuff. You're gonna have the right energy to do more stuff. Right, and then also
mental health.
Also buying, dude, oversized clothes is expensive. Like, not everybody makes it. Like, I mean, whoever does make it, like, they have to spend more money to make the oversized clothes. So you're spending more.
It's more expensive too. There's not a lot of people making it because now there's a bigger market.
But I was having a thought earlier. Like, when people are teasing you, like, the quickest way to tease somebody is their appearance.
Oh yeah.
So if somebody is fat, because I used to know this kid who was fat, his brothers and sisters would just straight, like, he was fat though. And he was like a young, like 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid. And, they would be like, yeah, fat ass. Yeah, whatever, Like, literally call him, like, fat ass. I think he was already used to it, but, he was, like, he wasn't doing anything about it. But it's kind of like, I think, that pain is there. It hurts.
Yeah, it's so sad when they make fun of little kids.
Maybe they don't know what to do when they're kids, or, like, like, they're just more comfortable just staying in that.
Because how old was the kid?
The food, it was young, like 10 years old or something.
Oh, I have such a heart for the little fat kids. That's why I can't believe people that make their kids fat, dude. But
okay, but I'm saying though, so they don't do anything to change that.
Because the kids are oblivious.
You feel the pain. But you don't know how to overcome it.
No, I would always tell Gerardo, like, Gerardo, don't eat this. And I feel like the way they see it, and I know it's because I started gaining weight around that age too. So you think you're like, well, I'm a little bit, like, I got a little bit of a, like, type, but you don't see yourself as fat as other people. If most people go through life being unaware, not being self-aware, being aware. Imagine when you're like as a kid, where you haven't even really developed self-awareness, like not even a bit, like you just start developing the self-awareness part of the brain when you're in your teens. That's when kids start being all like, oh my God, I gotta look skinny, this fits good, like the boys you start realizing, like, how do people see me? Like, you start getting into it, and some people just can't. Now it makes so much sense. Like, it didn't used to make sense before. It's like, why would, like, you just feel like it's your brain really getting adjust to the idea of the fact that you're now noticing these things, that it's like, to some people just becomes too overwhelming being so self-aware. And you're not even really self-aware, but you're realizing the feeling, the knowledge, the part of the brain is awake of self-awareness. And that's when some people just take it too extremely, where like they develop mental illness and stuff like that. But I feel like it's not just that, it's other factors coming in. But the point is that when you're little, I feel like you just think you're like a little bigger than the other kids, and the kids are just being mean, and I don't know, God knows, like, I can't imagine, because a lot of these overweight kids, I hear they have overweight parents, so to them, like, it's not that abnormal, right? To me, my parents were very good looking when I was little.
Yeah.
When I was at ice skating, obviously, I love your mom. But to me, like my mom was the most good looking woman in the world. Like man, like I actually felt like I would never be as good looking as her. So, and I don't think I ever will because she was really really good looking. But to me, like I just felt that like that was my paradigm. That was what I looked up to be like as close as possible to my mom. Mm-hmm. So being overweight and I remember like nobody ever in my life told me like, oh, fat people are just bad and like, oh, you shouldn't like fat people or like, ew, fat people. Like never ever. I remember the first time I saw a fat person, like I don't really remember it very well. Like I remember her, but my mom told me that when I met her, I was very little. I was like 4 years old, and I will call her Mrs. Elephant. So that's just kind of like my go-to thing when I was a little kid. Like I saw her, and I saw everything as a fucking cartoon, dude. So when I would see cartoons, like I used to pretend I was Bambi at some point and stuff. You know, all kids go through that, and like I would see these cartoons about elephants and da-da-da, and although the elephants were cool in the cartoon, to me I saw this really big enormous woman. I thought, oh, this is like Mrs. Elephant, so I call her Mrs. Elephant. And I didn't know it was being mean, but I think I kind of did because my mom said that I would like, she'd be all like, Mrs. Elephant, and then the lady would complain, and then she said that I would laugh, and my mom would tell me like, no, that's not nice. So I don't know why. Like I wouldn't
stop after that.
I guess I did. I don't know. I guess I guess my mom made me feel like that's that you don't do that to people. Like you don't.
Maybe you just thought it was funny because it's like elephant. Like oh, it's an elephant. I don't know.
When you're a little kid, you're just so like blunt about things. You have no filter whatsoever.
Yeah, probably don't even know why.
You don't even realize that you think it's funny, but not in a funny way to be all like, I'm not hurt your feelings. Like I think it's a more innocent form. Yeah. But the very first time I do remember seeing a fat kid and me being all like, oh my God, like why? You know, like I was just so like, what the fuck? There was this really, really fat girl in my class. Like round, like I'm talking about like first grade of school. We're 6 years old and this girl was full round face, round little body. And it just looked like a miniature version of an adult, you know? So to me, I was just kind of like, what the? I was like, really like, I never forgot that image. And I feel like I would see her running. Be like I was like, what the hell? I just thought, I really thought at the time, I was like, man, I guess some people are just born like that, you know? Like,
wow.
It was, but I thought, I was like, that's so sad. That was my thought. 6 years old, that's fucking sad. Mm. I just thought that some people were just born like their parents, and that was really unfortunate. I never in my life saw it as a normal thing. Ever. So that just shows you it's in us. It's in your DNA.
To not be fat.
To reject things that look abnormal. You know? What will you think about other? Your mom was overweight when you were little. Did you think that was normal? What will you think of that?
I just thought some people are skinny, some people are fat.
That's how you would think.
My cousin was really fat when it was.
Oh, okay. You have fat cousins, but your dad was very thin, huh?
My dad was thin, but he would exercise. Like
His dad did not like being fat. Like he will run and.
Yeah, I don't know. My mom and my dad had like a weird relationship going thing. Like I don't know. Like I don't know why. Like my dad would like if he wouldn't encourage my mom to work out or whatever, or my mom was just kind of didn't want to and just doing her own thing, and I don't know. But
you always thought I got my dad's genes. Yeah, when you're little, you don't think you're ever gonna gain weight, huh?
I don't think so.
You think food just doesn't just. It's because like I mean. Nowadays, like people know nowadays. But back in the day, like there was no Google, there was no YouTube, so we just assumed like, oh, you know, I can eat whatever I want. It's food, you know. Like I never thought like, oh, this food has this many. Like I didn't see food as a number. I would see food as like I eat it, I get full, I'm good. Like I feel good. Like I don't feel Like you don't understand like how gaining weight process works or how it even starts.
Also, BuzzFeed saying that these feminists don't shame people for being thin is ridiculous. What about the fitness mom, Maria Kang? What about the Are You Beachbody Ready weight loss ad? What about the Peloton bike chick? These fat acceptance activists never miss a chance to shame a thin woman who is proud of being thin. And let's be clear, when it comes to fat acceptance, I'm talking about women. I understand that there are men in the original video, but nobody cares about a man being fat. Where are all you feminists shouting about how male fitness models create an unrealistic body image for men to uphold? Or how about this? I went to a local Target store a few months ago, and I just so happened to notice that the female clothes section was full of plus-size models mixed in with thin models. However, when I went to the men's section of the store, all of the models were fit and muscular. Not one of them was fat or obese. Try this at your local clothes store. I have been to plenty of them, and I have never seen an obese model in the male section. We know that fat acceptance is about fat women, not fat people. Most of the people in these fat acceptance promos are women. Most of the people getting mad are women. And I defy you to find a male activist group who shames a thin woman for portraying unrealistic standards of beauty like the feminist groups do.
For real.
I don't see any male activist groups shaming other men for being thin either. Feminists keep trying to push the idea that obesity is sexy. That's because they know it's unattractive, and men don't shovel a bunch of free stuff in front of unattractive women. That's what this is all about. Jealousy and resources. Being obese is not sexy. Tell me, is this sexy?
Okay. Let's see.
Where do I
And I'm
start?
forever out of breath.
Forever.
It's just my natural state of being.
The natural
Regardless
state
what
of
I
being.
do. I sat here for like 5 minutes before I turned the camera on, and I'm still out of breath.
That's fucking sad.
This
dude.
woman's body fat puts so much pressure on her lungs that she can't breathe even when she's not doing anything physically difficult. That's
How in
attractive,
the
and she
fuck?
should be proud of that.
Why do people like to
How
watch?
about this woman?
I always thought
This is Tammy Slater
people don't watch
from
these
TLC's
really obese
1,000
people's
Pound
channels?
Sisters. By her early
Yeah, I feel like
30s,
they were just
she was so
morbid.
overweight that she was confined to a
Like
walker
morbid.
until she started
Yeah.
exercising for the show. What is healthy or sexy about that?
I'm not obese. I'm a plus-size, curvy lady.
Say it however you want.
Curvy
It doesn't
lady.
change the reality of your situation. But certainly, someone must be the voice of reason here. Let's watch.
What the hell?
What is the most effective way that people can lose weight? In your experience as a doctor.
Right. One of the things.
Eat less food, do more exercise.
Are you a doctor?
Piers, can we hear from the middle? It's not in the room.
Eat
Dr.
less,
Pierce,
do more.
Am
Exactly.
I wrong? Miriam, am I wrong?
No, you're not.
Doesn't it really just boil down to
Shush.
No.
For a moment.
healthy eating,
Very
less
simple.
food down your gullet, and do some...
For real.
My God, the outrage of telling a bunch of obese women to eat less is unbelievable. Despite the fact that Pierce so rudely talked over the female doctor, he's correct. If you want to lose weight, then you need to eat less. However, it's not entirely that simple. I'll get to why, but first, let me tell you about this video's sponsor, Dr. Be Real, and his book, Till the Root Cause is Resolved, They Will Never Be Able to Control How Much They Eat. The reality is that if someone is obese or morbidly obese, then they have psychological problems that are causing them to overeat. Here's how bad it can be. This next clip is with Boogie2988 on the H3H3 podcast, talking about someone who had just recently undergone gastric bypass surgery.
One guy in my area, I don't want to dox him, but you're never allowed to smoke again. Because if you do, you can perforate the surgical scars in your stomach. And so he was a smoker, right? And he started smoking again at the 6-month mark. And now it's been 1 year since the surgery, and he has perforated his stomach. And so
What does that mean?
Basically, there's holes in the surgical lining of his stomach. And so he's literally, when he eats, he's dumping stomach juices and food.
So he's almost worse
potentially,
off.
Right? So, like, the chance of him dying any day is like happening, and I'm learning from him. And I'm like, why are you doing that? He goes, I don't know.
Listen to that. The doctor says that
They
because
say
of the
that
weight
hard.
loss surgery, if you smoke again, you will die. The guy doesn't care. He can't stop smoking. He knows it's bad for him, but he still can't stop. Knowing that cigarettes put holes in his stomach does nothing, even though it's the right answer, to keep him from dying. The reason this smoker can't stop smoking is because he's using that to manage negative emotions. Until he does some thinking and figures out what causes those negative emotions and then learns healthy ways to manage them, he is going to keep smoking uncontrollably.
You notice a lot
Unfortunately
of fat
for
people
him,
smoke too?
it sounds like he was too late. But it's the same thing with food. Some sort of negative stress is occurring in your life. You don't like the negativity, so you use food to manage that emotion.
Yeah.
Until you deal with the source of that negativity, all of your diets will fail long term.
Yeah.
The way you start figuring some of this stuff out is by going to things like Overeaters Anonymous or by going to therapy. It's not a food problem, it's an emotions problem. The real evil here is that there are a whole slew of psychological problems that the fat acceptance movement is telling people to ignore. For example, a common reason that women become morbidly obese is because they were molested as children. They got sexual attention as children that they didn't want, so their brain says, how can I make it so that I never get unwanted attention again? I know, I'll overeat. The overeating solves two problems. It helps them avoid their memories of their past trauma by numbing the negative emotions, and it prevents the trauma from happening. So great, both problems are solved. People come to these conclusions because they fix the problem and they're effective. They aren't the best way of solving the problem, but they do work. So their obesity could be for that reason or a number of psychological problems. It can even be a suicidal wish, like it was in Boogie's case.
Okay, so, that's all to unfold here. So pretty much, definitely, we have to make another video about, like, the addiction to food alone. But I just want to comment here really quick on the fact that most people, I don't know about, like, did he say most people get molested? And most obese people get molested? I don't know about that, but definitely there is some trauma. There is some trauma
of fat women.
Fat women, yeah.
That they're trying to,
avoid. Like overcompensate for. Definitely,
for
everything that we do in our life in excess is because we're overcompensating for something. And definitely food is nowadays food is highly addictive. I think food in general can be very addicting as long as it's food because it releases dopamine. Like, for example, Snowy, our dog. I keep using a dog. And we can still how to make that experiment.
What?
Snowy. We give them pebbles, right? We give them the pebbles that are supposed to be for him. We no longer. I mentioned about the pebbles for his breed. We no longer get the pebbles that are just for his breeding for some reason. So we just start buying just pebbles for like a good quality brand.
The brand
a quality brand for small breeds. But either way, he really struggles to eat that though. Like there'll be like sometimes like months that he just will like eat them as in like when he will snack at them as in like I'm hungry, I guess I gotta eat this, but he just didn't enjoy it at all. Like he barely ate it. I did a little more research and I'm just really gonna start cooking for him now because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have him and I want him to be as happy as he can be on his last half of his life. But gosh no.
He's happy on the couch right now.
Yeah, so when I have a video on my social media, if you guys want to check it, that we made his first meal with, because I noticed that every time I make chicken soup, like I will give him a little bit and he loved it. So I just went ahead and bought like a bunch of chicken breasts, put some broccoli, carrots, zucchinis, and I blend that with his vitamins. Because I also will struggle to get him to eat his vitamins. So we just blend the whole thing with his vitamins, the vitamins to eat everything. And we add a little bit of pink salt, tiny bit of turmeric, and then we pour that a little portion on his plate. Oh my God, he wanted seconds. He wanted third. And I also heard several times I'm gonna be like barbecues with give meat and be like, keep it coming, keep it like, as long as you give him like shit that he actually likes, like oh my God, he will not stop eating until. I still want to see like
he'll stop eating at some point.
Definitely an obesity in animals.
He will
so
get full at some point.
yeah, we all get full. And some people like the stomach I used to eat until I would feel sick. Like I was I was a mental eater versus a conscious eater. You know, like I will be all like, I was super hungry, like eat, because I will, the hungrier you are, especially like I feel like men will understand this because women are less intense on their eating on average. I would get home from school, like there was a time where I was like when I started losing weight, when I started like kind of like watching what I would eat, I reframed my eating window to a very small window, but I can eat whatever I want in this small window, but obviously not whatever I wanted. I would eat like homemade stuff. But I will get home and I would just be all like, and like if I wasn't full at the moment my plate was empty, I will go for seconds, I will go for thirds, and I will eat, and then I will eat so fast, boom, I will get a like a food coma, stomach cramp, and it was like I wanted to throw up. My parents were so ridiculous about bulimia.
That's what I used to do on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
I'll be like the one day we'll be like, fucking just
no more
loud.
I would eat ridiculous. I never felt like this. How I would feel the way I would feel when I was young. Like I would be, do you have to throw up? Oh my god, I heard there. Like no. She'll be like on the door of the bathroom, like you cannot do that. And she'll call me down like she's trying to throw up. She's trying to throw up. Like literally, I ate too much. Please, like they wouldn't let me.
Sometimes you just need to go walk it off.
Yeah, eventually it will go down, but I was insane. Like I was like that.
It actually helps when you if you do some exercises before eating or after eating, like.
And then it's so crazy because I was so thin.
Metabolism gets going.
Yeah, I was so thin in that time that my dad really thought I was anorexic, that I wouldn't eat, because by the time he would get home, I was done eating. Like I was done with my eating schedule, and he would think that I just wouldn't eat a lot. And then we heard him outside throw up, be like, man, you're like anorexic or whatever. And I was like, no, like I eat a lot. And then he would get home and get mad at my mom. He'd be all like, there's no food for me. She's like, Francesca ate it all. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm guilty. I ate all the food. And I'll be all like, no, she's anorexic. I don't believe it. You just don't eat a lot of food. And I will every day I will go for seconds. When I will go for thirds, that's when I will get the food coma. When I will get the food like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. It's the last day I'm gonna eat. You know, like this is how I feel, man. When did I go there? Oh yeah. So going back to the thing about most overweight people have some kind of like, they either have it or they develop some kind of mental illness, which is something so like insanely like crucial and serious that we cannot ignore. The fact that, you know, that's why I'm so pissed. I'm so like, I hate the fat acceptance movement, like with a passion, because they don't. I wouldn't believe they have no idea what the fuck they're promoting, dude. Like, and I know what pisses me off is that it's not even, there's none of it is a kind, good, selfless reason. It's all selfish reasons. The whole fat acceptance movement, people that promote it is people that are fat, and so that they can feel better about themselves. Mm-hmm. They need everyone around them to confirm that.
And they're just trying to recruit other fat people. It's like they're becoming a gang.
They're becoming a gang.
That's all
they are. They're
becoming a fucking gang.
They're a fucking cult. That's all there is.
Like,
and it's just kind of like, bro, motherfucker, you're doing harm to people. Like there's people committing suicide because of you. There's people dying, getting diabetes because of your freaking, because you want to feel good, because you want people. Like, I cannot understand. I cannot believe, like, seriously, I cannot understand.
It's so crazy. How,
as people that have never in my life gonna be like, do I look good? Do I look pretty? Like, tell me I look pretty. Do I look sure? Are you sure? And then like 5 minutes, do I look good? Do I look pretty? I cannot understand somebody that is like that, dude. That's not something not okay in your fucking head.
There's some girls that are like that. But
a lot of girls. They
don't say that, like, do I look pretty? Do I look pretty? They're just kind of like,
oh yeah, they'll say, oh
until somebody finally says, like, wow, you're looking good today. And they're like, oh,
I'm looking so fat. Oh my God, I'm so fat. I'm so fat. Until it's like, no, dude, you're so skinny. you're like great. You're like mom. Like really? Oh my god, no, you're lying. I feel bad for ever even doing something and slightly more like that because when I have done it, like if it's never been with an agenda, it's just been a sincere like thought, like man, I think out loud, you know. And then there's always people saying, no, you look good, and I try to be pretty.
You keep it to yourself though.
Yeah, you just and I try to be pretty like realistic about where like
bring it out to other people.
Come on, I edit my own videos. Like I have to see like, oh god, the double chin. Oh my god, like I hate some of the gestures I make. I hate a lot of the things, but you know what? That's me. That's fucking me. There's nothing I can do about it. If I had a bunch of fucking money, maybe I will go get some surgery tomorrow to, maybe like be a little more tight right here and a little bit of liposuction right here or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't have that money. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it pushes me to like go harder on the gym. Maybe it pushes me to go harder on my diet. But at the end of the day, that's me. I don't look at myself as much as other people look at me. So that's what they're seeing. That's what they're seeing. And this is the thing. It's something I learned. Not everybody sees everybody from the same goggles. So I am highly critical of how my ideal me should be. How I wish I looked. But people don't see necessarily, like, I mean, yeah, like, we can see models be like, man, we can appreciate beauty, right? Like, what a perfect jawline, what a perfect this, what a perfect that. But at the end of the day, what attracts people to other people is just literally their personality, their mind, their thoughts. And that's what kind of, like, makes the whole picture. So, and another thing, like, I have a younger sister, and she's so highly critical of herself, too. And then she's so good looking.
I can't lie. The first thing that attracts somebody is their physical appearance.
Oh, well.
Of course.
Oh, well, when it comes to
sexual attraction, a man is going to be attracted to that woman.
Oh, no. I meant, sorry. Let me specify. I meant to just people that want to be like close to you, like friends or coworkers or followers or whatever. They're not going to just follow you because you're very good looking. Like I've seen a lot of people that, I tell you, that they're not all that good looking, but they have an amazing personality. So definitely you're going to be people. You don't need everybody to find you attractive. You just need the person that you'd like to find attractive. And obviously your highest chance of, for example, there's like people that are not necessarily in good shape, than like other people that are not necessarily like, they're just like them, like normal average people, right? And they attract each other because they can get along. They get along, and they within their imperfections. When they're imperfections, they focus on the good things, and yeah, they get along, and they that wasn't as good looking but has a better personality, and yeah, that's what matters. But for example, if like in my case, for example, I'm very picky about the people that I'm attracted to. So if I'm attracted to a certain type of guy, you have to have the intelligence to know the social intelligence. And my social intelligence was very low at the time, but at least I knew that much. I'm like, okay, this type of guy is probably attracted to this type of girl. You see it in movies all the time. Be like, you can tell when two people make a good match. So you just maybe like, how can I be that match? And yes, not every guy you find attractive is gonna necessarily be attracted to you. But there is your chances of dating are higher if you sort of fit that prototype. You gotta kind of look for that prototype. So be all like, okay, I like a guy with this physique. So the female version of that guy will be, because we're usually attracted to ourselves, attracted to something similar to us. So it's very rare that people that are attracted to something completely different from them. Like a very skinny guy attracted to a very big girl, or a very fit girl attracted to a very weight guy. Like it's very rare. I just don't understand the fat activist movement being by other fat people. They just want to be told. They just want to be told that they're good looking. Like they want a validation. They want that validation, and it's just like it's all for them. It's like I have a problem. I have this problem with, I don't know, alcohol or something, and everybody seems to like tell me that, my problem is bad, that I should change it, But instead of me listening to everybody else telling me this, I take it offensively. I take it as in like, oh, people are just mean. They're trying to hurt my feelings. And I just started this whole group about like how, you know, alcoholic people are great people. We are amazing. You know, if you don't like us because you're like alcoholic phobic, and you know, it's not like, you know, I go around and making videos on TikTok about like, this people that don't like me. They just hate me, man. I'm trash. I'm amazing. Don't you think I'm amazing? So, and it's just kind of like, until I find somebody else like me that goes through the same situation, but like, yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. I'm amazing too. She's amazing. We're all amazing. She's just haters. You know, so it's just kind of like, it's just how it is. And I just want people to tell me that I'm amazing, because I'm tired of hearing people that don't think that way about me. But
then I think it gets kind of more like deeper than that, because what this guy was saying is that like they want, it just gets deeper because the fat people want to be accepted by everybody.
The seriousness of the situation is like, yeah, you're embracing. Like you said, like let's switch the word. I love hair. I look great on, you know, heroin addict is hair. What did he say? Heroin addiction. My hair addiction is great. I am sexy and I'm a heroin addict. I am
highly motivated.
Get motivated on heroin, and it's just kind of like if you see a bunch of people that are, I mean, yeah, there might be some functional heroin addicts, which is rare, but yeah, there's a lot of overweight. Like I have a couple aunts that are overweight, and they have relatively normal lives. But this is the thing. Not everybody gets unlucky. Most people that are overweight, like, they struggle to get relationships. They struggle to find quality men, quality relationships, quality. If you're not, and especially for example as a woman, which is kind of like what most of the movement is targeting, because no guy, I feel like he mentions that too. Like most guys that are fat, like first of all, they don't want fat girlfriends. Like, look at your friends, right? They're way like they don't necessarily want to date like fat girls because they're fat. And they don't.
No guy who really wants a fat girl. Like, what the hell? No
guy wants a fat girl. And this is different. Like, there are girls. Like, and they get hot girls, though. There's a lot of overweight guys that get the fine, hot girls. Why? Because when it comes to physique, men are more visual. Women tend to be more, they just want to feel like to be with a man that they feel protected. They want security. They want a man that makes them feel like they can be like a manly man, you know, like a man that can have some kind of and a lot of I feel like a lot of men that are not necessarily the most best good looking, they make up with personality. They make up with personality. They make up with character. They have strong characters. They are very like, and a lot of times like a big man, like it resembles like toughness, right? So a lot of girls like that, like, oh, what a big man, you know? So like a bigger man has higher chances of getting girls than a very skinny, wimpy guy. Mm-hmm. Versus, and it's the opposite with girls. A very skinny, wimpy girl or like a wimpy girl has higher chance of getting a man than a really big woman. But different factors are involved. Definitely, there's big women that have they're blessed with very nice faces, very nice features, and they have very cool personalities. Which they get a man, usually their best friend or something like that really like them and appreciates them and likes to stay around them. But usually that's not always the case for everyone. Your chances are way lower. And like I said, not even starting with like the repercussions on your health, but you should do it for health reasons. But besides that, the mental reasons. And it's all tied down. Everything, every mental issue, mental struggle, mental illness is tied down with how you socialize with the world. How you feel in society, how you feel other people treat you, and the way that people treat you a lot of times have to do with like, for example, like there was times in my life where I can be a bit of a pain in the ass sometimes too. You know, and I feel like if I was 200-pound woman, like I could see a lot of people like not putting up with my shit. You know, like we all like get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
You annoying fucking bitch. So yeah, so when you're like at least people like, you know, don't get into negative then. But yeah, so the way people around you like treats you is it's a combination of, you know, a lot of things, and the fact that you're overweight, it's not your metabolism. I mean, yes, but because you did that to your metabolism, so it's not really your metabolism. It's the food you give to yourself, and it's an internal. It shows an internal issue. It shows lack of discipline. It shows lack of knowledge on nutrition. It shows lack of care. It shows lack of self-awareness. It shows lack of a lot of things. And this, it's just like an immediate. It's like an immediate call. Like when people just don't have to really intellectualize. Like, oh, I don't like this person because, you know, and then like this comes out like, oh yeah, you know, like, you know, she's overweight, so maybe she has like lack of self-discipline. Like that doesn't happen. It's just like an immediate fact to be all like, no, because first of all, it's just not good looking, and that's like a receptor, I think, from the human brain to say like this is not a good match for you. This won't be a good partner. You know, there's some issues with this person. So I feel like that's just kind of an immediate receptor to like an immediate rejecting. And yeah, like some people end up like seeing past that. They see past that because they notice that they maybe just they're lonely. Some men are just not really good. A lot of men struggle. We need to make a little bit about that. A lot of men struggle to literally like try to get women to pay attention to them. So sometimes they have like their best friend, their fat best friend or whatever. Cheers. I drink, but I don't glorify alcohol. But it's like, yeah, you can still indulge in it. You can still like eating. It's a nice pleasure to have once in a while. Just like drinking, it's satisfying to have once in a while. You know, but you need to know that
don't get off track of your.
Yeah, if your life is in order, then you won't go ahead and give yourself the pleasure. But that's why it's good to go on periods of time where just be like, okay, I'm gonna do a switch, a change of life, change of lifestyle, where you don't have anything distracting you. So you have to give up the things that you love for a little period of time, so you get your life in order, and then once you get life in order, you can go ahead and indulge once in a while.
Yeah, start.
When it comes to alcohol and like bigger substances like that, it's different. But with food, you just have to change your lifestyle. You just have to change, you know, the things you do, and eventually it's just crazy that your mind just like adapts.
Yeah. I used to really be like into smoking cigarettes. I used to like to smoke cigarettes like all day, every day. But then it's like I stopped doing the things that I would do when I would smoke cigarettes. Like, you know, would have to like not go to certain places, or kind of like you have to switch up your like get new experiences to like be like, because they're already associated with that. So it's like once you get back into that place, your mind will be like, where's this cigarette?
I think
where's the drink?
We need to make a video about like giving up bad habits, which reminds me of I really recommend reading this book or hearing it. I got the audiobook. I love audiobooks, so I can hear them as I'm working, as I'm doing chores, as I'm doing anything else. The atomic bombs can really
atomic bombs.
I keep saying that. Atomic bombs, dude. Doesn't matter. Atomic habits. Atomic habits. Oh God. I don't know. Just the times my brain does that. I'm dyslexic. Anyways, Atomic Habits, a great book for people. And there's a lot of things that he says like we already started doing. But I feel like we would have not struggled as much or started a lot sooner with better habits if we would have read that book like a lot sooner. Like we just kind of learned the long way process.
Yeah, you kind of, I mean, you eventually learn, I think, you know.
But it's motivational. It's nice to listen to it. And there's on the website where you can download the PDF files to to follow along, and it's a great book. So for people that want to change, they get into better life habits, like definitely that's a great investment. It's the audiobook is only $15 a month, and I can get like 2 books per month. And then the book alone, if you want to buy the actual version, I think it's maybe somewhere around $10-15 on Amazon. It's just such an affordable and forever. Like you'll have it forever. Like it's a one-time small little expense to buy, and it's a life changing. There's nothing better to invest on learning things, on education. It's definitely worth it.
Number of psychological problems. It can even be a suicidal wish, like it was in Boogie's case.
I think I was just trying to eat to die. I was just suicidal, and I'm like, they would tell me when I was like 25, they'd be like, if you keep eating the way you eat, you'll be dead at 30. And I'd be like, awesome, there's a buffet on the way home, so I'm gonna fucking hit that shit, because I would like to be dead.
You were that conscious about it.
Yeah, it's like straight up. I was like, that's awesome news. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate you. I'll see if I can get that done.
Boogie is not the only one to have ideas like this.
It's because you
Here's
don't
another
feel like there's
fact
nothing
acceptance
more
evidence, like the
we're
ones
living
from
for.
before,
Worth living for.
glorifying the fact that she doesn't care about her life.
46. I'm like not worried about not living a full life. I've already lived a lot of life. Trust me. And if I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't regret it.
Oh my
She's
god.
46. That's only a bit more than halfway done with her life, and she already wants to
When
die.
I saw this interview,
is that mentally healthy? She sounds like she has just given up.
Right, but you see, I would respect you more with respect
What if you
to
have kids?
If I saw
You know?
you doing a fitness
You just
campaign
wanna
where
lose
you
their
tried to
mom
lose
at a
100
young
pounds.
age?
Why wouldn't you aspire to do that?
Because that's not going to work. It's not going to work for me. Diets are 95% failure rate. Why would I do something that's going to fail?
Yeah,
So ignorant,
diets have a
dude.
95% failure rate, so why bother trying to eat healthy? You would
Because
think that
people
when it comes to
fail
saving
them.
your own life, you would try to figure out why people on those diets are failing to see if you
Yeah.
can work past it. But no, instead, this is just the shape of my body, and there's nothing I can do about it. Not to mention how inconsiderate that is to the rest of the population who are paying your medical bills. They are either paying extra because of you through socialized medicine, or they are paying extra because of you through increased insurance rates. It costs way more to take care of an obese person in a hospital than it does a thin person. They require things like expensive special double-wide KCI beds. Their skin folds have to be washed frequently or they will get an infection. And they have to be moved more frequently than other patients so they don't get bed sores. Speaking of which, moving fat people is a very common cause of injury to nurses. My mother is a nurse, and she has been injured so many times from moving 800-pound obese people that her shoulder is permanently damaged.
Yeah, a lot
is
of
not a wonderful thing.
nurses get like.
But maybe this will help.
Bad shoulder
Before I end
injury.
this video, allow me to introduce to you David Goggins. David Goggins is a guy who went through 3 Navy SEAL Hell Weeks in 1 year. He did 4,000 pull-ups in 17 hours, and most impressively, he ran 101 miles in 19 hours with 0 conditioning. Then, 2 weeks later, after destroying his body in the 100-mile run, he ran the Las Vegas Marathon in 3 hours and 8 minutes. This guy has an incredible amount of mental resolve. The best part is, though, that he was a complete loser at 24 before he started. He was a victim of severe child abuse. He was a liar. He was a cheater.
That's why I listen to
and
him
an
more.
all-around terrible guy.
Oh,
One thing you hear a lot from what causes motivated people to do amazing things like lose an incredible amount of weight is that they become completely disgusted with how they are. They start to hate the things that make them weak.
I had 2 options. To either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month, and at 24 years old, knowing when I'm 50 fucking years old, I can reflect on this and think about what guy I never became, or I can totally just sack it up and fail and fail and fail until I succeed. So I started calling recruiters up. I said, I'm gonna go be a fucking Navy SEAL.
Which are you going to be? Are you going to be a loser because you never want to do anything difficult? Or are you going to be an adult and actually start trying? Listen to this, though. David Goggins called every recruiter imaginable, and all of them said no because he was too fat until he called the reserves. They said he had to lose 106 pounds to join, and he said, fuck that, and quit.
So I tried to get in the reserves. And I called this guy named Steven Salgio, recruiter, up. And he said, hey, come on in. He saw me, put me through the weight standard, all this other stuff. And
To get into the class I had to get into, I had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. So I was like, fuck that, I can't do that. I grabbed my chocolate milkshake and went back to Ecolab. I'm going back to work, man. This is my life.
His job was at a pest control company, and the next night he went back to work and found the motherload of cockroaches. He got disgusted by his job, set his equipment down, and then quit.
What it was, and it's kind of funny, I was obsessed with Rocky. Rocky 1 in particular. And when I was a kid, I'd come home every day and I watched this fucking show, Rocky. And I would fast forward with the little VHS tapes to round 14. When Apollo Creed beat the fucking shit out of Rocky, beat the shit out of him, he kept fighting. He was a dumb fighter, couldn't read, that was me. Couldn't read, couldn't write, just punchy, everything about him. And Apollo beat the shit out of him. He was in the corner, and everybody was saying, stay the fuck down. And him getting up, Apollo Creed raised his arms up in the fucking air, turned around, thought he won the fight. He turns around and sees this guy getting up, and it was the face of Apollo Creed that changed my life. The face of Apollo Creed. It was like, just by that motherfucker getting up, not winning, just by him getting the fuck up, Apollo Creed was his champ. He's the best. Rocky had taken his soul.
Hero stories are very powerful. That's why we've been telling them for thousands of years. Pay attention to the people you look up to or the heroes you like when you watch TV or read books. I bet those people have problems that are similar to yours, and their story describes how they solved it. Rocky was a loser. He was 30. He lived in a shitty apartment in the bad part of town. He failed his dreams to become a professional boxer. But when he finally gets a shot at being a professional boxer,
he made the story and everything
because he never gives up, even though he lost the fight with Apollo. David Goggins was able to figure out the answer to his problems because of that story. David was a guy who quit at everything, who became someone who quits at nothing. He took it to the extreme, and now he's doing all kinds of ridiculous things. Even though he has no idea what he's doing, he jumps in and figures it out. He isn't lying around waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Start now and figure it out as you go. Failures wait to be successful. Successful people jump in and deal with the problems as they come.
I was a fucking pathetic motherfucker, man. People cannot say that to themselves. We have to choose these great fucking magical words that make people feel good. Tell yourself the truth. If someone calls you fucking fat, they may be bullying you, but you might be fucking fat. Someone calls you dumb, it's mean, but you might be fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's true.
It's life, man. Take it for what it's worth and change it.
But I think that will be enough for this video. So if you liked it, hit the like button.
We all been
straight up
dumb and all those things. And yes, there's always that one person that points it out. And it might hurt at the moment, but you do have to think about, like, why they say this to me. Why? I was just going to say, that's beside the point, but it's just crazy how this guy, not only was he, like, fat and unshaved and had, like, a job that he wasn't happy with, or a mediocre job, whatever.
It was.
But I don't want to shame on anybody's job. Like, everybody's meant for something, but
somebody's got to do it.
You can do your job and be really good at it. The point is that in his situation, let's say it was a mediocre job for him. He had more potential. He wasn't happy with the job, but it's funny. Not only was he overweight and unhealthy and all those things, but he was also a terrible person. So he went from being a terrible person, like, and the good thing is that now he's the humility to acknowledge that and recognize it and come straight about it, like say it straight up, like I was a fucking piece of shit. And going from that to now he's a mentor for other people. Like, and especially because he's like, I've been that piece of shit. I've been that person in denial. I've been that person, that lying person. I've been that person trying to, get ahead in life by, taking advantage of other people or whatever, like lying to other people or deceiving other people. And it's just like, not only was it his mentality, it's funny how it always goes hand by hand. Like, people who are ignorant, people who don't want to know better, learn better, improve themselves, grow, it always goes down with like they usually have an unhealthy diet. They usually are undisciplined. They usually have that victim mentality. They usually are full of fucking excuses. And then people that are look about improving themselves and getting better selves, they usually have it always goes down to like people who are very successful. Doesn't always works out. People work out, like wake up really early, work out really early in the morning. They work out on a regular basis. They have a healthy diet. They have healthy relationships. They have everything in their life is on point because it just requires a level of intelligence to get there. And obviously not everybody's going to get there, but you don't have to be this like, oh, I hate people that encourage people to go like, you can do better. You can make $1 million. No, you probably aren't thinking about making a bunch of money a year. It's kind of like mean because if everybody made, that's kind of like encouraging socialism, right? Like if everybody made $1 million, then everybody made the same amount of money. But what it is encouraging is like what, like let's take it down to the roots of like what makes a human being happy. And back in the day where society didn't have all these weird ideologies being spread around and all these quotes and all that stuff, and society was a lot more, people were a lot more simpler about their beliefs. What really made them happy is the simple things in life. Pretty much having a good meal, being healthy. Being healthy was one of the main things and people were healthy before without even trying because their lifestyle just made them be healthy. People had to go out and hunt. People go out and make their own food.
Even
people
just like
go out
farming,
exactly. Like
that,
even before, even after
simple
even
labor.
If you will get I'm thinking. I'm thinking again a mix of things of everything, but I'm thinking like there was time people hunted, but even when people start agriculture but you will still have to go and do a lot of that process. Like you have to go and set up a fire, and there wasn't plumbing, so you will have to work for everything. You will have to make sure that go get water, wash everything by hand. The kind of labor you would do was way more physical back in the day. Most people had a physical job, versus nowadays most people have a computer job. So things were different. So now we have to adjust to be like, how can I still get that physical, that activity in my life? And then things get progressing, but there's not a reason to not still make your body feel like it's still doing the same activities as it used to, because it seems that based on studies that we don't evolve for like thousands and thousands of years or something, right? So our bodies are still adjust to how they are still reacting in the way that they reacted in the 1500s, 1400s and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So they're still I react like that.
Yeah, all this new like processed food is not even a century old.
Yeah.
And it's, just getting so...
And that's never...
evolved so rapidly.
I don't see the body ever adjusting to that, because it's fucking crap that we're giving to our bodies. It's just literally straight up toxins.
Yeah, but the other part about this, like, I'll call it a epidemic, this fat epidemic that's going on.
Fat epidemic.
Is literally just because more people are just getting comfortable with where they are. They don't want to do the hard work that it takes to change, to actually make change that's going to be lasting